Pete, you've made some great progress, I see.
Yes, Dave, I've finished. I've been here since 7:30 this morning because I wanted this finished before the boys got here so that we could start getting the overheads in, and Dave's going to make a centrepiece that shows the real thing. We're going to put some pictures there just to break all this up. I've still got to add a little bit to this, but to be honest, this is, for anybody who does, you know, who's looking at this, you have to do this in bits. It just gets so boring.
Right.
And
you need a break.
You need a break. Yeah, you definitely need a break to walk away.
Sanity preservation.
Well, you just for the view of it, just to get the balance right.
So you got to walk away, look at it.
Well, I mean, I was on the train yesterday for 6 hours. I spent most of those 6 hours looking out the window to see how the vegetation works.
Right.
Because I was very conscious of this. It's got, you know, we've gone to this length. You've got to get, given the time, it's always the problem with us. You just don't have time to spend hours. I mean, this is 25 feet of scenery here. That should take you 4 years if you can do it right. It took Pendon 70 years. I'm trying to do what Pendon did in 70 years in 17 weeks. Yeah, and that's a physical, of course, impossibility. But you've got to do what they do on film sets. You've got to build the city of the future in 3 hours. You know, I mean, they get on those films like, you know, Space Oddity and all that. I mean, they literally get the stage, which is so expensive to hire. They literally get that set for 3 weeks.
Right.
So they build in warehouses. Then they build the planet, Zoncon, in 3 weeks because the cost of hiring that sound studio. And so you're doing the same, you're cheating, you've got to cheat.
Just remind me, what planet is this?
This is the land of never, never going to be finished.
Oh, I don't know, I think you've made great progress. The shrubbery looks fine. I'll have a good look shortly. I'll let all the viewers have a look.
Right, so what I think I'm going to do is cut some thin stuff and layer it. You know what I mean? And lay it and then just disguise it. I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest. And I think I've already done that. Not often I prepare in the future, but I think I did in this case. So do you want to just give me that box there?
All yours.
Yes, sir. Look at that, just if I made it for it. Well, not quite perfect, but I can get it. Good after you, Phil. Dave. Sure, not a bit.
Take a bit off that, it's a bit too long.
Oh. Done before. Yeah. Yeah. Can have a look. I could see that.
So we're going to work it on a T-bar this time.
Right.
Rail will be stuck to the underneath, riding overhead wire.
Okay.
bent over the end so it overlaps the next one. So it's
Oh, right.
all detachable, as we can get to any potential derailments, whether they happen or not.
And any panel can be pulled
Yeah.
out without regard to the others, as long as you're careful.
So, yeah. So that one will link in there. There's a bit of a gap between each section, so it gives me the
Right.
overlap of the braille. And that'll keep it all moving. Just a quick, simple test. Through the joint.
I can't wait to run a camera through on a train.
Yeah,
See it from the inside.
that's right. Level down right. There's a slight difference in height there, but that'll be sorted. Check all that. I can glue that one into place.
You know, that's what we've done. I'll tell you one thing that this layout has taught me.
Right.
I mean, I've been modelling for over 60 years, in fact a lot more than that. Started in 1957, 56, you know, in a crude way, but
Right.
when you had to make everything yourself, the one thing that you forget is, like, when we started this for the cathedral 4 years ago, and you know, always time has been the constraint. You come up with a way of doing it, but 4 years on, we've created such a beast that suddenly you've gone away from just making a train set, for a better word, that's going to entertain people in a cathedral, to making a model railway that inspires people. And that, you know, so suddenly when we came back from the NEC and we knew that we would, you know, we'd got to then start to build the two ends for Watford to take it to Chester, because obviously we couldn't take any more than 74 feet. I wanted to do something different. And because you've done 4 years modelling, you start to think clever. And that's, you know, you just go, well, what if I do this and that? Which is fine, I ain't got a problem. The problem is, you still think in the time frame that you were thinking of when you built your first one 4 years before.
Well, we've got 6 months to go. No, you've got 2 weeks.
Well, not just that. You just know how long it takes to put the track down, how long it takes to ballast, how long to, you know, to paint the rail, and you just know in your brain how long it's going to take you. You know, you've worked because you've done it 4 times before on this scale.
Yeah.
So you've laid, you know, 300 feet of track before, and you know that's going to take you best part of 3 days to lay. It's going to take you a week for all the PVA to go off on the ballast, and you know how sometimes you've got to reballast because you can't just. So you say to yourself, to put the track down on the front,
Yes.
it's going to take me 2 weeks.
Right.
So in the brain you think, right, it's 4 track, no points, 2 weeks, I've got that done. Right. You've got the scenery, you work out, so you say, right, I've got to put it. But this time, because we've added this fancy end and this cutting instead of a tunnel,
Yes.
then our timescales will go out the window. Because you're looking at something that effectively is so detailed compared with what we've done before. Only Milton Keynes pushed us that stage further.
Right.
And that was fine scale modelling, but it was only detail modelling because Phil gave us the drawings.
Yes.
We built it and made it look right, and then we're adding detail.
Right.
But Phil's made that detail work because he's drawn it.
Yes.
You with me?
Yes.
It's in a place you can't.
It's
you can't-
engineered.
Yeah, you can't stand back and go, "Oh, it didn't look right," because he's got it right. But when you're doing this, which is basically freestyle, you've got to stand back. Oh, it's not quite there. You've got a bit more. But you've got to know when to stop, because if you don't, you can overdo it. But it comes back to you've lost time. You know, this
Time runs away.
to do this if we weren't as experienced as we're working, and we know how to do things, this is a lifetime's work.
Right.
This piece to do properly would take us 10 to 15 years.
Right.
So if you look at Pendham, which is what we're trying to create here in its own way, they've took 75 years
Okay.
to do it. Now it's obviously
First double one.
way past this, but then they've taken 70 years to do it.
Right.
We've done this in 4 weeks.
Yes.
Not glued
You know,
that
so
in yet till I'm happy.
but we're
It might be
trying
slightly long,
desperately in
might
our
be
brains
kinky, chop a bit.
to get this to look like we saw Pendham build in the late 50s, early 60s,
Lot of
because
this
we're
is
still in that
coming
mentality of that's what we're trying to create, a real railway.
Right.
So they're all in my own.
Popping out and-
Railways could be a lifetime's work, and don't rush it.
And you've 2 weeks left to go, I think, is it? 2.5 weeks.
No, 1.5.
1.5 weeks.
Well, I'm away.
Okay.
I'm away, so literally,
We go in a week Monday.
yeah, it goes in a week Monday, and I have to finish everything by basically Wednesday next week. I have to have
Okay.
it. All my part has to be finished.
Okay.
Phil can do a lot in the cathedral. Aaron's got to be finished, and he'll finish it at the cathedral. But you know, workload kicks in now. Your proper job.
Yes. Don't forget your day job.
Don't forget your day job. That's right. Right, what am I doing?
It's all about height difference there.
Watch me bushes. Where was I going?
Oh, cheers, Phil. This is a floor of a block of flats, is it?
Yeah. So when
Can you hold it a sec? I need to focus.
did we see you last?
Last
week.
This time last week.
I think we're still drawing it. Last week.
Okay.
This is the
Can you rotate it for me?
the upper floor.
Okay.
Remember, there's five variants.
So you've literally built this as a series of floors that stack,
Yeah. So you can
just like the real thing.
sort
it up.
of. So you can.
It's like the Twin Towers were. And what would happen to that? Dave with his
that won't get you-
Dave with his low flying aircraft.
That won't get you cancelled. Nothing will. Yeah. So you can, by varying the amount of them, you can adjust the height of the building.
Yes.
So.
Wow, that's really ingenious.
It's 5 floors, but we can keep going, and then. You got it.
Yeah.
And then Night of the Wild.
Let me put this down somewhere and I can have a proper look at it.
Ignore the frosted windows. You shouldn't use super glue, but.
That's
quick
brilliant.
test. There's also a window missing as well.
Oh, it's terrible. We'll get the complaints in the comments on that.
Yeah.
Comment if you can find the window that's missing.
Actually, it might be a door or a window.
Oh, I'm looking at a missing door, but don't tell anyone.
Yeah, there it is.
Anne, oh, is that a door or a window? Oh,
It's
says,
a door.
okay. And these are the balconies, are they?
Yeah. They'll just have a simple framework to go
Brilliant.
with. And then the
Oh, now you're just showing off.
so
This looks great.
It's compartmentised, so it doesn't. You can't see straight through it.
Okay.
And then also, as it gets about 15 kilos worth, it needs the bits in the middle to stop it sagging.
Do we need a doll's house enthusiast to deck it out for us?
Well, Chris is already onto his curtains that aren't curtains.
Okay.
Drapes, he says. Well, Pete said there were drapes, one of them.
Well, they're drapes.
There you go.
So how many high is this? How many floors?
The one on the left is 12. The one
Right.
in the middle, I think, is 14.
Okay.
The one on the right, if it fits, is 20.
Right. And is this the first prototype for you to just get a feel for it, or is
Yeah,
it?
make sure it went together.
And how long did it spend cutting this out on your laser cutter?
It's about an hour and a half.
Right. And assembly?
About 2.5, 3 hours.
Right.
But we were talking upstairs, so we weren't
Right.
rushing.
So the point is, Dave, these block of flats will be an ongoing feature this year. The whole point that we're trying to do is it will be put in at the Chester and will actually be built during the whole of the exhibition.
Right.
So it will go up like the real thing.
Oh, so people can see something different
Yes,
every
and
day.
then when we go to the Great Electric Train Show, we'll have more.
Right.
And then we get to Blakemere in December, we'll finish it off.
Brilliant.
So what people that visit will see, they'll see the block of flats going up exactly like the real thing. So hopefully by the time we get to Christmas, we'll have had the flats in, so you'll actually see
To be sold.
what it looks like. And then we'll put them on the market in January.
300 and 600,000.
Yeah, if you think about it, you sell everyone a flat. You
There's
get
the finished drawing.
I own a flat on there. Yeah.
It'd be easy to just send you the JPEG. But
yeah.
No, that's fine.
Thinking here, Pete.
Oh,
It's not
brilliant.
like you to miss that opportunity.
So
I own a
this
flat.
floor-
Making Tracks.
Hey,
Oh,
Phil!
hang on,
quid.
Pete. Oh, one of those
Take for a
four.
flat,
Yes,
something like
okay.
that.
So any of those four is that one.
Okay. And then it changes again.
Yes, that's one,
You know,
Right.
you
2,
say you own a flat.
3,
Oh,
4, and 5 at the bottom.
That is brilliant.
So I need a mini
Lads doing that fucking
mini banner hanging on a railing saying MegaPoints controllers.
And that's the back.
How you'd market it is a different.
I know.
thing.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
And it's a nice project too. It looks relatively simple to build upon once you've got the groundwork in.
Just keep adding them.
So here's an idea. Aaron's come up with a great idea.
Sponsor a floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be selling the flats in January. If you'd like a flat
Yeah.
on Making Tracks 5, you could purchase not 500, not 400, not 200,000, but a tenner will get you one.
Wow. I want penthouse, Pete.
Oh, penthouse is a bit more.
Yeah,
Okay.
50 quid. Especially yours, Dave.
Great idea that is. We'll do that.
Well, why not? Make it.
No, we'll do it. It's either out of interest.
There's 8 in total.
No, 8. No, how many on the floor? Honestly, that tell you.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave. How are you doing?
All right, you look like you're having fun.
Yeah, great fun now. Easy. On the home straight now, mate. Just we're doing finally a grand relabelling or numbering, I should say.
Are you using the random system or have you got?
Oh, we're
something-
using fill system now.
RNG.
Because if you remember,
I do remember.
the first layout was all letters of the alphabet, and Phil didn't like them.
No. It wasn't I didn't like the letters.
You said you didn't like them.
No,
so
I said I didn't like the letters going anti-clockwise. So you had to count backwards rather than going...
Oh, Z came first.
No, it was still A.
It's like a Sunday shop. So we've got a great numbering system now. Hopefully, there should be no more cock-ups. We'll soon find out.
I was going to say, that won't stop us, Dave.
I'll get some big washes on the inside and all. So that's put a bit of glue on that and all on a pin.
Who's this coming now? Dave, not Dave.
Alright, Bob.
Paul.
Which one is it?
How many more to do, Dave?
Oh, I've got a few yet, haven't we? How many? Phil will tell you.
Lots.
There's not that many actually, we've done quite a few, haven't we?
Yeah,
Done a lot in there.
There's still a couple of scenic boards that need doing.
Oh, hang on, I was going to sand over. Come on, what are these, Phil?
The way you put wooden blocks to join
Oh,
the...
right, I'll leave them.
So they did 20 miles?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
No, now they say they've got to like 50, 70 or something, so they do 50, 70. Whatever.
I can't believe it. Are these the boards that are going?
These are back scenes.
No.
Chester.
Right. So, hiya Paul.
Hey, folks.
So will you today?
They're doing it now.
No, I can't. I'm just asking a question. So today, will there be a pile of boards I can remove?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
They're already in there.
Great.
There's about another 2 or 3, I think, to add
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah, because I'll move them tomorrow.
But we're a board missing somewhere.
It's that one that you retract at NEC, I think.
No, not that
I
one.
still want it. Blake me.
No, it's the one that we did to that board over that side? You know, the cutting.
Do you not think we better start putting trackers on these boards? So we know where they are?
Hang on, Phil. You're talking about the one we relayed?
No. We're a fiddle yard board somewhere that's got that turns that way, that connects to
The rainbow.
Well, we'll
the
check now.
fiddle yard, the cutting.
You haven't had it yet?
No, but we've obviously done it because the track's lined up.
Show me.
Well, we need to get this.
Well, I think we better be a bit more certain than that before we get to Chester.
We
We know we've done it, the track's lined up. We said that last time and they didn't line up when we got there.
Well, they did, Dave. It's just an 8-foot gap between the lining up.
Well, that's exactly it.
Well, they jumped
Right,
it on
go on,
speed,
Rob.
didn't they, on the film?
Not so
speed?
far
Why
to
couldn't
go.
they do it on here?
Hey? Innit? One of them dogs that can get a good whiff of the baseboard and he'll tell us where it is.
Oh, what a morning. And response, 2 police cars, police helicopters, all the roads blocked in Barnton.
Four.
Well, I don't know, you couldn't tell there was that many, must have been 12, 15 police cars.
So what do we refer to you as, Aaron? Are you our master catenarian or something? Is there a title?
Not really, no.
Yeah. Dog's body. Do the hard stuff.
Yeah, I did a bit that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
So there we go. That will now run rail to rail. If you see it in the middle now, you'll need a close-up shot.
Right. I'm going to put the camera inside.
Yeah, I've got a sausage roll for everybody.
As best as I can,
Yep, I can see it. Brilliant.
and it just passes there. And if you get a still shot of the overlap in the rail, and it's designed to keep it.
Except in an
So when
emergency.
we're in the cathedral, we're in the main hall, how much space have we got around the layout?
It's tight, mate.
Is it? Yeah. Are we going to be able to rope the layout off, or
When you
people
say
coming
it's tight,
right to it?
you need space for people to go up the back side, don't you, of it?
Dave, you've got stuff
No,
in your chin.
it's alright.
You're saving till after.
It's all sticking in it.
Yeah, but even that, Dave, is tight because you've got obviously they've got the aisle, but we're right up against it, and then you've got the aisle. But for
Think back to that first year.
yeah, it's exactly like the first year,
Oh, we have plenty
But
of
less
room.
space.
but less space. We haven't got all the space that we had at the first.
All the chairs
to
are
their
Colours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you remember last year, or the first year, there were no seats in the cathedral.
No.
They were all out because COVID.
Are we in the middle or towards the wall?
Towards the wall.
So we're on a side. So we've
No,
got
so
those pillars.
we're still in the middle of the hall.
So we're just like an afterthought really now, aren't we?
Oh,
So it's the fiddle yard against the wall.
yeah.
Now hang on,
Okay.
let's before we, because this is all on camera. Let's get the detail right. We shouldn't be there this year
Well, why are we
So
going
we-
then?
because we add so much weight in income to the coffers of the church,
No, it's waiting.
together.
and it's become a bit of a burden for them.
So, thank you very much.
Yes.
Just
So
shout it up.
Why don't you give us a bit?
I've washed the cups.
Come on, yeah, I'm not joking.
maybe it's on camera,
Well,
Dave.
there's
Don't
only me
joke.
and you that wash the cups here.
You know, let's not joke about that.
Yeah, you're
we give,
wrong.
you know, we give all the money to the church, and unfortunately for us, we made this exhibition, our layout, so important to them that they had to have us back this year, and you know, to balance it out. And we know next year's our last year, so they've squeezed us in.
Right.
That's what it is. So it wasn't an afterthought. It was a
Deliberate. Design.
well. Will you do it? We said yes
That's not that.
because we didn't want to.
Oh, you don't mind doing it, do you?
No.
Alright, I like
Can
it.
I have a tea, Paul?
Yeah, sure you can, mate.
Quite strong, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So
See, I've got my job back now, you see.
Stand the spoon up in the middle.
that was obviously the thinking.
Back in kitchen.
Because I don't want them to, well, I'm not being funny, but I don't want them to miss out on our donation. It's important because it was always a year we were aiming to give them a donation from us as well. Well, I mean, we've done that every year, that's not the point, but this year we were going to give them a bigger donation.
All that means is, where they put us, they've still got to have seats for the normal churching on
Yeah, because
for Sundays.
when, as I say, first year there was no church services because it was all virtual because of COVID. Well, now there's church services, so come Sunday they still got to have a congregation in.
To get the right amount of seats in, we've got to move slightly over.
So we are.
Would the pillars fit in middle of the layout?
You would. But then you
That
couldn't walk past
pushes you out in the aisle.
But you couldn't walk past them. On the side. Give about 6 inches space.
What's in that place we were in last year?
No art exhibition.
A light showing it.
I don't know what it is.
Because then we've got 5 layouts, haven't we? You can take any one of the 5 layouts out. Because we've got spare end boards. Each of those 5's now has got its own end board.
Not quite.
Well, it will be when we've finished.
More stuff to make, Dave.
Well, we've only got what's the name, haven't we?
We've got another 10 baseboards to make.
Currently, we've only got one layout that can go out. Because we butchered a Milton Keynes board at the NEC.
Yeah. Right on. It's on the track, isn't it?
Making Tracks 1 can't ever go out again because we've only got a few boards left of that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of making tracks one, to be honest.
No, but it's still one of the 5.
It's still a nice. There's some nice scenery on that Making Tracks one.
No, we use it, don't we?
Some others in that jump.
But that Watford now,
We need it for setting that record again.
it's got a
We've
few.
got no more records, mate.
But Watford's got a bit Making
I
Tracks
know,
1 on it.
that's too much that was.
No, there's one more record.
What?
The world's biggest railway.
World's biggest what?
We'll beat the record.
We're not.
Here we are.
Pete, I might not be able to see by then. My eyes are going worse.
Dave, we've done it all. We've got it.
You say that, but I still won't making.
No, we've got it. We've made it.
Until you want it altering.
No, we won't want it altering. That's what I'm saying. That's a good thing. If we plan this right, we need when Watford is, or when we put up what's the name? Bushy. Every board will be made.
You'll be going into the property business then, though, won't you?
Yeah.
Selling
Selling
all
flats.
these flats.
Selling flats, my idea. make a fortune.
Are these 5 layouts pick and mix then?
No, there
No,
will
we can't
be.
do that.
There'll be Rugby, Milton Keynes, Watford, and Bushy.
And all combined.
What?
That's
And all
what
combined.
I'll give you the faith, it's all combined.
Yeah.
So is all combined back on the cards now for the future?
Well, it will be. That's for 2026.
Okay.
Sort of, for one-off. But having said that,
2026.
You'll be 80, Dave.
You'll be here.
Uh,
See by then.
we're talking to the railway at the minute
Might have a dog in a skip.
to celebrate the 200th about a special place.
Okay.
So we're talking to the railway about that at the minute.
Right.
There's some more sausage rolls, this one, another one. Plenty of them there.
We're going to have one later, I think the problem we've got is
What?
with the change of government and the King's speech yesterday,
We've had it.
whether the railway is going to be in a position of knowing where it is in 2026 or 25, I'm not quite sure it will be. I think it'll be still a lot of transition. And I think that, for instance, from what I can see and what I feel, you can forget GB Rail, that's gone. GB, the Great British Railway, what are they called?
GBR, Great British Railway.
Yeah, that's gone. That's no longer going to happen. From what I can,
Why what happened to him?
I know they said that they were going to.
It's going to start it off next.
Going to call it Great British Railways, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what they said in the
That's the plan.
speech.
yeah, but at the minute it's being set up separately, right?
More money.
But that's not the way the King's Speech. If you read it, it's bringing it all together as one piece, including Network Rail.
It's the
So it isn't what GB Rail under the Conservative government was. This is GB Rail under a Labour government, which is a nationalised railway, which will take some time to achieve because it's going to be done when the franchise runs out.
Yeah.
So as franchises run out, they revert back to government control or to GB Great British
Or,
Railways.
or they get handed back. Now then, there's a problem in that.
Rolling stock, I suppose.
No, there's a rolling stock problem, yes. Secondly, the freight companies are not
Going to be part of it.
part of it. So the most important part, if you think about the strategic And they are an infrastructure, and the strategic part of Great Britain isn't actually passengers.
Great, isn't it?
It's freight. Because if you don't move freight, you can't survive. And the roads, and if you're in a green agenda, which was also in the King's speech, lorries will never replace trains as far as being environmentally friendly.
Not against modern
Not
law.
when they're going up Chatham Beachcock every day.
Well, you're just not going to do it. It's like you're never going to battery power a ship. It's going to be cheaper and quicker to do it with hydrogen or whatever the new fuel is. So at some point, there's got to be some strategic thinking about how you do it. And so it started off because I said whether there will be enough clear thinking for the celebration in 200. I believe there will be, but it does need addressing now because already there's too many camps with too many ideas. And
Who's the great thinkers in Labour Party then?
well, that's me. Well, for the kick-off, they've got a great rail minister. If you can't beat Peter Hendy or Lord Hendy,
What, is he back in now?
he's the rail minister.
All right. I thought. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he's been appointed the rail minister. Well, he's a railwayman.
Yeah.
So, you
Knows
know,
what he's talking about.
yeah. So for
be
the
a
first
first,
time, well, for the first time, you've got somebody with a clear vision. If he's been allowed, given a brief of what to do and knows where he's going, it's at least a brief. You're not changing rail minister every 6 months, you know,
Yeah.
whichever suits, you know. You can't run infrastructure. You cannot run infrastructure
It's critical.
in the way that the politicians have tried to do it for the last 50 years. You can't do it. They set up the strategic infrastructure.
SRA, the Street
They set it up. Nobody listened to it. Nobody listened to it. The first thing was we still as a railway don't have a strategic thinking. We don't have a policy. So you got last week we were talking about HS2 going back to the Y. Now we're talking about in the King's speech putting more money in the north. Well, what's the point in putting money in the north if you don't join to the south?
Yeah, exactly.
It defeats the object.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm sorry, I go back to when I was on HS2, the one thing that impressed me was when we went to a meeting in Manchester and they brought up some Treasury people. And the thing that really, really interested me was that when the Germans took back East Germany, Germany put all their efforts into bringing East Germany up to the same standard as West Germany.
Long-term plan.
Yeah, we don't do that. We go, what can we give the North? Let's give them 30 bob.
Yeah.
Well, packet of Woodbines has gone up, give them 32 shilling. And that's the thinking. You've always got that thinking with the North-South divide. And I live in the South and the North, so I can see it. You know, when we look at what we've done in the Chilterns, at the cost of what we've done in the Chilterns, and what we're not prepared to do in the North, you just go, that's crazy thinking. It's just, you know, it's flawed thinking. You know, you're either going to have a railway that works for the country or it don't work for the country, and that's the answer. You're either going to have a motorway system which is cheap
I'm better.
and better, according to Phil,
I'm faster.
and faster. Not in my world, it ain't.
Of course it is.
In your world, Phil, it is the way
Okay.
you drive.
You tried to get to my house on a Sunday by train.
You can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you never will be able to. No, Phil.
Can't get
No,
here.
sorry.
No.
You won't always be able to get to everywhere because that was what the Victorians tried to do.
Stoke to Warrington isn't everywhere.
Yes, it is. Stoke is not on the west coast.
Of course it is, right in the middle of the country.
Yeah, but it's not on the west coast.
It is.
No, it's
on
not.
the branch that comes off.
It's off the branch. Well, it's not on the west coast because it's on the bit that goes to Manchester.
Yeah.
So unless you bring it on the bit that comes to Warrington, you can't do it.
But you can still go to Crewe, but you still can't do it.
You just said it before.
Yeah,
there's
but you've
plenty
already
of it. Eat as many as you want.
But
So I need a car to get here on a Sunday.
Pretty good,
So
aren't
why
they?
would I take a
Oh,
train on a
yeah.
Thursday?
Hey?
Amazing. That's what you call a sausage roll, isn't it?
Well, that butcher's in.
but that's what I'm saying. The infrastructure thinking, or the thinking is, if we're going to have a railway,
They're all proper
it's going to
meat
work.
and all
It's
the
going to have to run late, and it's going to have to work on a Sunday.
Yeah. And then
But to do that, hang on. But to do that, then you need a big subsidy because people don't travel on a Sunday. So if you're going to run the trains on a Sunday, you're going to have to subsidise it.
So if you're going to nationalise railways again, why are they getting rid of them Royal Mail trains? So all that's got to go on the
Hang
road.
on.
They're owned by
Hang on.
Royal Mail.
They're owned by the Royal Mail.
I know they're not, but
Royal
if they
Mail-
want to take them back in, why don't they keep them?
The Royal Mail is not part of this. Royal Mail's private.
What about the trains then?
They own
them.
It's their own trains.
That was another way of subsidising the railway, because at that time Royal Mail was part of the government. So rather than put more money into the railways, they give them the money to build the trains to put on the railway. But they did the same with the electricity. They did the same with the cardboard.
And now they're scrapping them. It's
Yeah, but
crazy.
Are they scrapping them or just putting in storage?
I don't know. It's
Basically,
mad, isn't
they're
it? So where's all,
319.
where's all the stuff that goes on them trains going to go? It's going to go on bloody motorway, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is one. There's no strategic sort of thinking.
Cab
What is it?
is a network of
Doesn't
cabs
matter.
similar to a 323 cab.
Well, if
But
you
the actual
listen,
chassis and underframe.
they put the price of the electricity up, right?
Yeah.
So the Royal Mail can't afford it.
Why they can't
All the freight
why can't they
companies-
I don't understand why they can't have let strategic people, not strategic transportation.
Just close that back, mate.
Just let them have
Yeah.
cheap electric. Why can't they?
That's what we're doing. It's in the King's Speech.
The energy company.
The energy company. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, well, electric companies are private, aren't they?
No, he's setting up a new electric company, but
State owned.
state-owned for infrastructure.
And how long is that going to take to build? A bloody power station for that?
I don't think what I've heard is it's an office. It's not. It doesn't.
Yeah,
own
it doesn't.
generators,
It won't
doesn't
build power stations. It'll just buy electricity.
At an exorbitant price.
No, when you buy big, Dave, you buy cheap. Our problem is when you buy small, you can't buy in bulk. You know, you've got a government who's buying trillion kilowatts of electricity here. He's going to want a deal, isn't he?
Big deal, yeah.
Yeah. If you're buying 2 bobs worth, he ain't going to get a deal, are you?
It's just mad to build electric trains.
That's
and
what
then say they
Network
can't afford
Rail's
to run them
problem
because
is.
they've got
Yes.
no electric.
They can't buy enough.
I mean, that's what's going to happen with
Cheap price.
electric cars, isn't it? Everybody will get electric cars and say, we can't afford it, we can't afford to give you electric, so you'll have to stop at home.
We've got freight companies running diesels under wires
That's
because
mad.
it's cheaper to run the diesel loco than electric.
I know, it's crazy.
Right, but
Well,
so
they're
what
free.
sort of thinking is that says that can be allowed to happen? When there's a green agenda, why hasn't anybody gone, hang on, we have to think this through. We've got to keep the freight moving and we've got to keep it under the wires in electricity
Well, you can.
where we can. Because if we don't, we're never going to meet zero targets. Now, it isn't easy whichever way you do it. It's a balancing act.
I think the con is if they tax the diesel to make it attractive rather than actually making electricity appropriately priced. Make it.
What's history ever said? Make it too expensive to buy. It's the easy option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than tackle the problem, put the price up.
Yeah.
Put the price up till it.
Make it awkward for you.
Well, squeeze the pips.
Yeah, till they squeak.
Yeah.
And then when it all goes wrong, you've got nothing. You've got no system.
But we just talked earlier. They're opening the, what's the name? They were going forward track again.
Yeah.
They're opening up tunnels. Because this was government money, save money, close it. Now they've got to reopen it. If they'd have been private companies, they'd have put that stuff in store.
Yeah,
And it would have been cheaper just to look after it.
yeah.
But when the government, because the next government might not be the same as the government that closed it, it's like, not a problem for us to close it. There you go, there's 600
Yeah,
million
that-
off your bill. Then to put it back in, you're going to spend 5 billion.
That's right.
But it's a different government.
That's right. So they're not bothered.
So there's no thinking.
That's half the problem, isn't it?
There's no strategic plan.
It was BR was forced to rationalise, weren't they, in the
Yes.
80s?
See, the people that are making these big decisions, it doesn't affect them. They've got, they're getting all the perks and everything. They live in lovely houses,
No, Dave,
way out in the
Dave,
bloody country.
Dave,
They don't have any of these problems
Dave,
that we've
that's
got.
all a load of bollocks.
What?
Forget that.
What?
The point is, where it affects them is they don't get bleeding voted for. They're not interested in their house. They all don't live in big houses, so let's get that out of the way. Some of these guys don't, but they want electing because they like being a politician. They're not going to do anything that jeopardises them. Turkeys don't vote for Christmas.
That's right.
Right, so forget the houses, that's claptrap. What this is, and I say this and I mean this, I've only ever seen one politician who's honest enough to say, this is what I believe in, if you don't believe in it, don't vote for me. And that would surprise people, but George Osborne, when he was a Chancellor, I've never met anybody as straight and as honest as he was. Because he went to his constituents and said, I believe in HS2, and if you don't believe in HS2, you'll have to chuck me out. But I'm not going to change. That's a politician. Yeah. That's a thinking. He isn't thinking of himself in... No, obviously, George had a few bob, so he could afford to do that.
That's what I meant, Pete.
But you've either got principle, Dave, or you ain't got principle. That's the point.
We know that.
Now, you've got a Labour government in that say they've got principles. Well, we'll see what those principles are. Yeah.
We'll soon find out.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll finish the HS2?
Well, we just said we don't know, do we? We don't know anything at the moment because, you know, everybody's in for more pay. You know, you see Newsnight, they want 7 billion for the wage rises. It's like, where do you think all this money's coming from?
7 billion for what? Whose wage rises?
For all the public sector workers. Nurses, teachers.
And you, Aron.
Aron, he's the one!
Aron, you need 100 grand a year to drive a train, I think. I don't think you get paid enough, mate.
Clearly doesn't vote for the Tories. He's a bloody creep, isn't he?
Does he want to make you something?
What's he after?
Dave, what do you mean 100 grand? He's not taking a cut.
I wish.
Yeah, but don't forget it's 2 of them at their house.
2 incomes.
Yeah.
2 train drivers.
2 train drivers.
That's 200 grand a year.
Yeah.
And they still can't afford the electricity.
Less than 60 grand a year, if you don't mind.
And here's us poor retail workers.
Yeah. Listen.
No, but I mean that. So going back to the original thought, where we are with this whole celebration is now, I think, completely up in the air because you know everybody's been looking at their franchise, say Avanti for instance, and saying, well, what do we do? What do we do now?
And you're not going to put any more money in now if you're going to be nationalised, are they?
Well, they've got to be.
I mean, you're not going to spend any more money on these.
Dave, I don't know, but at some point, they've still got 2 years left, I think. Well, whatever it
Pull
is.
the socks up.
But
they've been carpeted this week, haven't they? They've been all over the coals.
Yeah, but this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. All of this is down to the DFT. Let's put a name on it. It is not the train operating companies. You know, you're not a train operating company. You're part of a national network.
Yes.
L&E are part of a national network. Avanti and the first group are treated differently because they've got a franchise. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. One can cheat the rules because they're a national company, and one can't because they're a private operator. That's nonsense. Absolute bloody nonsense. When the DFT are calling the shots anyway. They're calling all the shots. I mean, I saw this week, you know.
So they've got 2 rule books, one for them, one for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, you know. And, you know, all these guys at Witness, the train care people, right? They're all renegotiating their contracts with Avanti. Where does that stand? I just don't get it.
It's Alstom do the maintenance on the Pendos.
That's right.
Not Avanti. So it's all contract and contract here, contract there.
So they're renegotiating because effectively Avanti have now finished all the refurbishment of the Pendolinos. Honestly, this is so complicated. It's going to take somebody like Peter Hendy, it's going to take them 4 or 5 years to sort out the mess we've gotten into because of the infrastructure we've weaved. Because it is so complicated.
It's so fragmented.
Listen,
We've got to have so many bloody different train fares to get from A to B. Why can't we just have 2 or something like that?
This was the way we haven't got a strategic policy. There is no strategic policy. I went on Jeremy Oskin's train on Saturday from King's Cross to York, okay? Now, I don't travel on the East Coast very often. I've done it 3 times this week.
Yeah.
It's shocked me. Now, we've got overgrowth on the West Coast, not like on the East Coast. So I said to Tony Bush, how come this, you know, they've lost windows in coaches through strikes from trees
It's crazy, isn't it?
on the east coast.
That never used to happen, did it?
We've got trees
Mid
now
Wales.
that actually form the shape of the
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
The coaches,
Yeah.
the tree form that's grown round
Yeah.
the track in the way that the train goes
Yeah.
through. So it forms its own tunnel.
Yeah, and you've got window strikes and people, of course you can't get out of windows anymore, but they're breaking the windows in the support coaches, right? Jeremy spends all that money on getting Blue Peter looking bloody beautiful in his coaches.
Comes back scratched.
Scratch the buggery.
Yeah, it's
By
not
the time
right,
it gets
is
to
it?
York, scratch the buggery. You ring up, the response is like, as Aron said, you say it's quick. Certain places it's quick, certain places can't go because they can't fix it without abseiling. And, they haven't got enough abseilers to do it. Now, this is crazy that we've allowed the infrastructure to grow to such a point, but that goes back to your strategic thinking of,
It's like look at
only
all-
do it when you're necessary.
Look at all the big stations now, they're full of bloody weeds in the middle of the track.
Unbelievable.
Like Carlisle and York.
You get entire forests of buggery.
Yes. No, it's unbelievable. But again,
We've got a big problem now with Japanese knotweed and they're jumping all over that.
yeah, well, they've got to.
Yeah,
They've got to.
Yeah, jumping on that. In fact,
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
worrying.
dangerous.
It's all over. They're all over it like a rash.
But if you think of it, our infrastructure is 200 years old. It's like, what the Victorians did was an amazing job because they built, last for bleeding ever. I mean, some of our structures will be there along with the bloody pyramids,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But stuff we've built in the last 5 years will be falling down in 10 years.
that's right. They'll suddenly find out it's got this aerated concrete and they've got to close it all and all that.
Yeah,
Where they were trying to save a few bob a few years ago.
yeah.
Like
Well,
everything else, do it on
well-
the cheap.
but I mean, to me,
Cheap paid twice.
when you go on the railway and you see the Budley now, it's like, it's embarrassing.
Horrid.
Even, well, Warrington. Oh, it's embarrassing. The railway was always if you want people to respect the railway, you've got to make it look tidy. If it doesn't look tidy, it's got graffiti and there's trees everywhere and growth everywhere.
Weeds and that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Why should people treat it
Any
as
different.
any different?
You're right.
Chuck your bloody chuck your fag packet on the floor. There's no smoking on the station now. Son off. What are they going to do?
Nothing.
Nobody's going to say anything.
Well, prisons are full, so you're not going to go to prison.
No.
are you?
And we've sorted the world out. There you go.
So we've all done that.
We
Right,
do,
build more motorways.
Pete, we sort this out every week, and it's still the same the week after, isn't it? Nothing
well-
changes, does it?
Politics, Dave.
don't know.
Welcome to politics.
We all know the answers, but there's no.
I think we should
there's
make
nobody
Pete
else
Prime
to talk
Minister,
about
don't you?
how
You know.
to sort a problem out.
No, but Dave, you can't do it, mate. That's the problem. All this rhetoric we've been talking about.
There's no incentive to sort
Well,
it.
there's not, Dave. You've got 5 years. It's never going to happen.
Work gangs.
They haven't got the money. I mean, already they reckon
gangs, haven't they?
they need to find 10 billion. That's on top of everything else that's got to be done.
Hang on, didn't they have a fully costed plan?
Well, you never have a further cost.
Hang
Hang
on.
on,
Nice,
Dave.
nice,
I love all these
nice.
people. Did you see the rain we had on Monday night?
Yeah.
You can only
Right?
get down one
Yeah.
line now.
I mean, I've got pictures from Canada of the whole of Toronto under a foot of water.
Wow.
Right? You can't legislate for that. Toronto Council didn't think we need £1 billion here to empty the
Yeah,
sewers.
sorry, well, that'd be
What's
a
that got
bit
to do with
grim.
Labour?
That'd be a bit
Well,
grim.
no, you don't know what. If you don't know what the weather's going to do, you have to live up to what.
Yeah, but the weather doesn't cause a big, massive, several billion miscalculation.
Yes, it does.
Not in a week.
It does in a year.
But it's not. They've had all this info out before they got
No.
elected.
No,
They
no,
just
no.
made it up because they'd say whatever to get in.
No. I
And
don't
everyone
believe.
knows it rains in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
but
knew there was no money
no, no,
left.
no, no,
Never
no.
rains,
Yeah, they
is
knew.
what
They
it
knew
was.
that.
Yeah.
Of course it.
Of course they did. And then
But-
they made it all up, and then we went, oh, actually, we didn't read it properly, and it's now going to be this.
Yeah, but we all knew that.
Exactly.
And they knew. We all know that politicians is politicians. Let's not worry about. Let's forget politicians for Christ. Let's look at the
Well,
reality.
you can't forget about them.
You can.
You have a drastic influence on
Yeah.
your life.
No, but we have a drastic influence on them because we can vote for them. So
Well,
we.
yeah, right.
No, but hang on a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
If we don't get the facts out, people won't know what's voted for. So you've got to get the facts out.
Brexit.
Like landslips. You know when some of these landslips, the cost of putting them back together is colossal. That one, if you look at that one at, I'll tell you where it is, where we just modelled with the hotel on the last layout, in the middle. We put in the point and it's got the stone yard. Blissworth. You look at that track slip that they've done. I'll tell you what, that's unbelievable. I bet Now that's taken probably 7 or 8 months, and I'll bet you that's over getting towards 100 million quid. Just one little piece.
I don't know what that one at middle would cost.
How much that one at Barra cost when the truck disappeared?
Well, there you go. There's 3. We just mentioned 3.
6,000 tonnes of earth and the ballast disappeared from the end of middle.
Just like that overnight.
Yeah.
So you can never that.
That's the point.
Lucky it was going uphill.
So,
well, surely you'd have a bit of a buffer somewhere, wouldn't you?
yeah, you do, Dave. But don't forget, you have a strategic operating period of 5 years where you get the budget for 5 years. So you budget that every year your maintenance is going to be somewhere in the region of 2 billion quid, which is that's light. It's more than that. Every year you know you're committed to £2 billion to keep the railway running in a state. If suddenly another billion comes in, you won't have the money for $1 billion. You've got to take that out of your budget. So what they do is they pull it forward in the budget. Then in year 5 they've got no budget.
Got nothing left.
Got nothing left because they've had to use it in contingency.
It'd have to be a good one to budget for 5 years, wouldn't you? Christ.
You can't budget for 5 years.
Crystal ball gaze, isn't it?
Not in them numbers you can't.
No.
But that's the problem. We've gone down the American route. Is everything has to be budgeted. You've got all these experts who say, well, you can manage anything. No, you can't manage anything. Because the bottom line is, if we all believe in global warming, you don't know. Well, today it's hot.
Who sets the budget? Who's the person that says, right, that's all you can have? Somebody will say that's all you can have.
Treasury.
So what do they know they're right?
Well, they don't, but they've only got a pot with 100 quid in it.
Yeah, well, they're very good at giving it to other bloody countries and that, aren't they? And all the rest of it.
Dave, that's not the argument.
It is the argument.
No, it's not the argument.
Of course it is.
No, all I'm saying is, how do you budget? That's how you get your money. If the railway's only got...
Well, it is like that, because you say it's not worth sending the money abroad.
No, I didn't say that. I said they'll always find money to send abroad or do other things that have nothing to do with this country.
But other people will find a value in that. So, for example, it stops wars, is what they'll say. By giving them money, it then keeps them on the sweet side.
Or weapons.
Or balance. You're balanced.
So there'll be 2 people now with different things of where that money should go.
Yes.
Who decides?
Yeah, who does decide?
Well, it's whoever's been in charge, who's elected.
Well, it's always a balancing act, isn't it? It ends up as a compromise.
So traditionally,
which nobody wins at the end of the day.
But traditionally, Labour were more give money out to people, and Conservatives were more tax people less. Except for they're all kind of give everybody everything and tax more.